Hey everyone, thank you for choosing to spend time out of your day to listen to today's episode. I'm your host Zachary Aird, and thank you for watching, or not thank you for watching, thank you for listening to my dad here. So this is David Aird, my dad. He wanted to be the last one, and he's the first one with my new equipment and everything.
On Studio Z.
Studio Z.
I like that.
So I got now arms and two chairs. Put a little backdrop and the Rocky thing.
I got 2 chains. We're good to go today.
Yeah, you got 2 chains.
Two
chains.
chains.
He's already introducing himself, but basically, who are you, Dad?
So my name is David Aird. I'm not yet 50. I feel like I'm in my 30s, and love being with my family. And I always try to work real hard to provide for my family. So love sports, love my kids, love my wife. So.
It's a hard-working man right there. So I know we always joke around, but what do you do on your free time?
In my free time,
You could put the mic too closer if you want.
Okay, I do like to work out a lot. I like to do a lot of running. My kids make fun of me because I like to run. They call me
The running man.
or cardio.
Oh, cardio man.
Cardio man. They
The
call me
running man.
that. So Zach and my other son Brandon try to get me into weights all the time, but I like to run. It feels good to run, clear your mind, get some thoughts out, get the frustrations of the working day out. So I try to get in like 3-4 miles a day, but probably got to stop and do more lifting. Try to get that kind of going too. So
Yeah. So because me and Alyssa were kind of messing with you about saying the runner's high. Do you remember that?
I do,
And
yeah.
Have you ever got it? Because you never really answered it.
No,
Do you
I
know
don't
what
think
it
I've ever
is?
got it. I like to run and just like, I know it's kind of like being in the zone, not thinking about it, where you just feel like you're just running and you feel good about it. But I don't feel like I'm Forrest Gump. Like I don't feel like that.
Yeah,
But
that's actually a good explanation of what runner high is.
yeah, he just kept going and going and going.
Yeah.
So I just like to go out there. It feels good just to get outside, and even when it gets hot, I like to feel that little bit of burn on the skin. It feels good out there to work out. So yeah.
So why did you start? Because I don't remember you running in my high school years. What made you kind of start doing all the running?
I think just to make sure that I work in the health field, so I see a lot of people that get older, get sicker, and they don't have good range of motion. And so I didn't want to be like that when I get older. I want to still be young, vibrant. I still want to be able to do things. I want to entertain people. Like when you guys down the years have kids, I want to be with them on the floor, messing around with them. I want to be going to a Disneyland playing with them. I want to be having fun with the kids at a playground too, like I did with you guys growing up. So.
Yeah, because I don't see you getting much older.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't know, because you've always been the one that's in our family, if there's like a gathering, you're always with the kids.
Yeah, I think your mom says, go play games with the kids. I don't know if that's to get rid of me or it's to,
No, it's
it's
definitely
to
get rid of
entertain
you.
them. But I just enjoy it. Like I enjoy my kids. I enjoy all my nephews and nieces. I think it's fun. And I think it's cool just to laugh on a different level with them. Cause I always hear the adults inside laughing, but it's just fun to be outside laughing too with the kids and, playing a game or playing a sport with them, making them a little competitive. It's fun to fuel that fire for generations. So I
Yeah,
enjoy
because
it.
that's what we used to always do. Because before it used to be at Nina Ann's house, and where you would just take us outside, or
Yeah.
usually we'd go to the park and play, football with all the Theos, or not softball, but like baseball.
We play wiffle ball or baseball
Yeah.
or we play football. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun out there. So
What kind of age did you get to where you're like, oh, I kind of got to start slowing it down, or have you not got there yet?
I haven't really gotten there yet. I know that your mom might say no,
Yeah.
but she does tell me hey, you can't do that sometimes. But I don't want to be that person that just sits down all day. I have to be moving. Even when I'm walking, your mom will say, oh, you're going too fast. Slow down. Even if we're at the mall, I just like to go. I want to get there. I have like a mission to get there. So I just think it's important to be active. Even in your last trip to Kansas,
Yeah.
I I would not get an Uber. I was going up the hill, down the hill
Oh,
in the
yeah.
snow, cases of water for you guys. I just felt it was just go get it. Go. Why not walk half a mile up a hill in the snow?
Yeah.
Big deal. So
Yeah, because that hill was steep, right next to our hotel, the Crown Plaza, because you were behind the T-Mobile Center. Were you?
yeah, I was on the other side of it. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's pretty steep, especially
Yeah.
in snow, because that
yeah.
snow was.
Little ice, little snow, and then
I would never live in. I'm never gonna live in the
Yeah.
cold. because
And
that's
then
horrible.
your coach bought me dinner one night and said, "Hey, just bring some cases of water." So I was telling your mom that, and then she goes, "Hey, make sure you take this case of water right now." Like right now, it's like 20 degrees out and it's snowing. So she's like, "Well, go do it." And so I did it. And then of
Yeah, I
course,
didn't know you brought it with
yeah,
2 feet. I didn't know you did that.
yeah. Either maybe I'm just cheap. I didn't want to spend $5-6 on an Uber up one block. I don't know. It was Kansas. So
Yeah, the Uber was it expensive for the Ubers there?
yeah, I mean it wasn't. I mean most places I Ubered, it was like, a good 20-30 minutes away. So it cost about 40-50 bucks each shot. And that whole rental car debacle. I won't name names to who got me that one, but yeah.
What was your favorite moment there in Kansas City? Because for the audience that doesn't know, that was my tournament,
Yeah.
and that was like the last tournament I'll ever play in, actually.
Yeah.
But it was the NAI national tournament. So yeah, what was your when you got there for the last 2 games or
So
last four, three?
last three, yeah, last three games. And part of it was just let's get there because you just never know how far you're going to get. And when I got there, you guys kept going and going. It was like an Energizer Bunny kept going and going. And I was excited, man. I was living on a high. And I
Yeah.
remember late at night doing your laundry just to pass time. I was by myself. But your mom was the one that said, you have to go. You got to go. You got to go. And then she said, surprise, I got you some tickets. And I was like, what? So it was fun to surprise you. So my moment was um, I flew in and it took me a couple hours trying to get to the stadium because I thought I had a rental car. They lost a reservation, had to Uber it from a different city into Kansas City. And I was so upset. I called your mom. I was like, I'm not going to make it on time. And the day before you had said, hey, make sure that when you watch the game, you have popcorn. And so I made sure I went to the concession stand, got my Diet Coke, and I got a popcorn. And I got there, and your mom's like, hey, FaceTime, FaceTime, FaceTime. So I went and FaceTimed. So it was neat because all your teammates were pointing at me, and then you looked and your face just lit up like that. And that's when I knew it was it. So, and then just to see you out there on the court with all the NAIA commercialism, all
Yeah.
the signs, it was neat to see out there shooting. And then you kept, during warm-ups, you kept shooting farther and farther away. And it was a
Yeah.
proud moment. It was neat but that moment I saw you, because you didn't, when are we going to see each other in Kansas, right?
Yeah,
It's
it was weird.
hey, we're both here. And then it was just like, there was so much downtime. So just to
Yeah, it
hang
was.
out, work, you were doing homework, I was doing work, talking about the game, trying to go sneak in a cookie or ice cream. It was fun. It was just a nice getaway. So it was weird though being alone without the family, just me in a hotel room coming to you every day. It was weird, but
Two things about that. For the first one, I just liked how gelled you were with like the team because
oh
I forget that like you guys as my family aren't there. Like I see them every day, so then like, oh yeah, you guys know Key, you guys know Joe, like those names. But then when they decided to hang out with us, like us three or us with mom, like I just thought it was special because everyone was gelling. You were
yeah.
saying jokes that I kind of took like the back burner was like, wow, that
You need to
well,
take the back
yeah.
burner. I'm the guy that makes all the jokes. You're right.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'd
it's
take
my
all.
turn. It's my turn.
Yeah, you should have been this podcast. But yeah, just like at the Mexican restaurant, how like I was just sitting back and realizing like this is just a family. Like this is gonna be
Yeah.
in 20 years. You're gonna be the, I might be getting older than you
Yeah,
in the future.
I'll be that grandfather with my kids there. But it was cool because like all your teammates, it was like I've always seen them on the court and I've always messed around with them or before game, after game, hey, let's get the game, let's get the dub. I'll tell them stuff like that. But afterwards, just to everyone showered up and we go walk and get a cookie or walk get an ice cream or go get a dessert or have a meal. It was more like just hanging out. It was
Yeah,
it reminds me of my younger days too, like just messing around, hanging out, guys be guys, making fun at a table, and even the quietest guys on the team, Key.
yeah,
He doesn't talk a lot, but I said I'm gonna joke with this guy, and as soon as I did that, man, he got me right back, man. It
yeah.
was
He's a
fun.
one-liner, dude.
He
You
was
don't mess
fun,
with Key.
but and then I got to experience the fact that because you always talk about your team, I got to experience the fact of how you mingled with them, how you gel with them. So that was cool to see from my perspective on, wow, this is what you mean that. How did you mean that relationship? So that was for me. And then like how your coaches will walk around and just say thanks for coming. They were appreciative that we were out there. That was
Yeah,
cool. The coaches really love that. So that was
yeah.
neat.
They love family. Anytime family's there. But the second thing that I was gonna say was like being in Kansas or Kansas and Missouri for 2 weeks. It,
Mm.
it wasn't like lonely because you're with your team, which that's all you know. But then like there's no family members there because I've always been every game there's at least a family member there.
Yeah.
So after the game it felt weird to like go hang out with someone else's family or half five Coach Keeley's family. It was just weird. So then finally you were like on the floor technically with your backpack just getting there from the airport. It was pretty cool because the whole day, every time you try to surprise like one of the kids, you get awkward texting. Like you don't text back. Like you always text back, but you'll text weird like like I don't know how to put it.
It wasn't the normal texting.
Yeah, it wasn't the normal texting.
Okay.
And
Gotta work on that.
yeah, because they were all asking me like, "Is your dad?" Because all the other guys' dads were going. I was like, "I'm pretty sure my dad's going, but I don't know for sure." Like 90% I know. So then when I saw you, I was like, that's why when you were like, when someone said it's David, it's Zach's dad, I like looked around. I was like, I told you guys he was coming.
That was cool. But I'll tell you what, it was you got to give props to your mom because before I went, we were in the kitchen and she just told me that I was going, and we were talking about when I was going to see you, was I packed, all this good stuff, and your mom was in the kitchen and she was cutting onions. And then Melinda Gorgie walked around. She goes, "Mom, why are you crying for?" She goes, "It's onions. I'm crying." It's onions. But she was crying because I think in her mind she was sad that I get to go, but she wasn't able to go, even though she wanted to go. We had just used up all of our PTO from all the February travels.
Yeah.
And so I had a few extra hours left over from work, and I was able to go. But I was actually telling your mom before I went. I said, she's a really good mom because she absorbs all the sports you guys have all been in, from Melinda, Brandon, and you. And I told her, I said, "Man, you're a really good sports mom," because she absorbs it and she wants to know the lingual. She gets so aggressive that she hits me in the game. Like, you're talking too much, and she'll punch me. I'm like, "But you're screaming and punching me." But it was just neat the fact that she understood. And then after the fourth year of your senior year, she allowed me to. That's kind of like, as a dad, it's like, wow, I get to go experience this championship run with my son. And I know she was sad, but it was cool that she allowed that. So.
Yeah, and she got to go for the last game, I think.
Then she surprised us, and I'm coming. And shout out to Brandon, our son. He's the one that bought her ticket. I was like, what? So I was trying to figure out, where's all this money going to come from? And Brandon bought her ticket. And I said, "Brandon, you going to come?" And he goes, "I can't." And I think because he didn't have any more PTO time or whatever else. It was incredible. So that was a big deal. He allowed both your parents, his mom and dad too, to come and support you. That's part of our family.
Yeah.
We love being around each other. Yeah, we love it.
Another thing is it's kind of weird to see like the whole game transition from like since I was a kid, because we were always at the park, like me, Brandon, and you.
Yeah.
So being on a court like with other name athletes and like people on our team that are All-Americans, or the game that you went to, there was an All-American on that team. So it's just weird to see everybody is brought up differently, because I kind of brought that up with Billy D.
Yeah.
But yeah, just being at the park, because like you guys said, me and Brandon never had trainers. Me and Brandon never had that extra help. But what we did have was you. So it was.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just.
But if I wasn't there, your brother was there too. He was out there.
Yeah,
even though he was throwing you around in the dirt.
Brandon was. Yeah, Brandon definitely taught me how to play like Isaiah Thomas.
He made you your Shaquille O'Neal in your heart. So yeah.
Well, I mean, posting up a 5'8" kid is not.
I think you were 5'5" back then.
Yeah, I was 5'5". I was trying to give myself.
But in reality, that is true. I mean, we spent hours at the park, and even when we were tired, your mom would text, "Hey, dinner's ready to come home." We played 2-3 more games because we wanted to get the extra in. I remember the summer mornings, all during high school. We'd go out there in the mornings at 7 a.m. and go shoot, run around, get rebounds. You'd do the same drill over and over again. And you took that from St. Mary's right into Ottawa. And it was neat getting your rebounds. And then also it was like, there was a big transition right about your sophomore in high school, where it was like into your junior year, like your shot started getting longer. And when you shot that three, it seemed like it would never end until it hit the net. It was amazing. It was like this. It was like everything clicked. Your body got stronger. Your form got better, and you started making your shots. And I was like, all right, now I have competition. It was fun to start playing you like
had
that.
competition at 9 years old.
Yeah, whatever, bro. Come on now.
So who would win?
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Do you want to cancel the podcast?
I already know I'm gonna win.
Oh, come on.
There's no way you beat me now.
Okay.
All right. Back then, okay, you got to your spot and everything, but now it's like you're not scoring.
All right. All right. We'll have to prove this in one day, and then put it on the podcast or put it on your Instagram saying, you know what, here's the score, because you're throwing me down here.
No,
But
like, I think playing you, I think if we played again, I'd probably be aging you more.
you're talking basketball too, right?
Yeah.
Because we just played bowling and pool, and you got
Yeah.
skunked.
Hey, those are old man
After
games.
all your talk.
Those are old man games.
You wanted to play it. You're the one talking it up.
What
and
20-year-old? What 20-year-old is a professional in pool?
Aren't you 22?
Yeah.
You're the one that talked the most that you could beat me.
Well, yeah. Well, I was doing good. I was hot the first game. And what'd you guys say?
What game are you talking about?
The very first game where I beat y'all.
What game is this?
The bowling.
Zach, the first I got the score on my phone. Do you want to see the score on my phone? Come on, man. Don't lie to your viewers. Come on.
All right.
Because your nose is growing right now, and boop, like that little Pinocchio
Was
right there. Oh.
was Grandpa a big? I know he was hockey, but what other sports did he play?
He liked bowling. He liked ping pong. But he was
Hold on. Remember when we went bowling with him? Remember when we went bowling and Grandpa? And then after, we were trash because we had the thingies,
the bumpers,
and we were like, "Where did Grandpa go?" And he comes back. We're in the parking lot.
And he got you guys trophies.
Yeah, he got us trophies.
Yeah, he wanted to make it a big deal for you guys. He was just happy to be with you guys, and so.
So Grandpa believes in participation trophies.
I think he gave you guys a first, second, and third place.
Yeah, I got.
Did you see his trophy? It was huge.
Yeah, he got himself a trophy.
He got himself a trophy. But I just think it was cool because with everything in his life going on, he was able to to break away, and then he saw you guys laughing and everything else. And of course, even Melinda was there, and I think she was trying for the bumpers.
Yeah,
she was trying to do
bumpers.
zigzag.
Still got gutter.
Yeah. She's gonna kill you, man. She's gonna kill you with that one. Oh wow.
Yeah. So like I was saying, I don't think you could.
All right.
Because those are battles back then. Because
yeah,
when we used to play 21, or we used to figure out games to keep it going.
Yeah.
Because it would be like, we'd play 1-on-1, of course, when Brandon couldn't come, and it would be a battle. Like people probably like walked by and said, "Man, that's an older brother." Like they probably thought you were an older brother.
Thank you.
You know.
There was that one morning where we were working out together, and then out of the blue, there's some strange white guy in overalls came out of nowhere.
Yeah, 6 a.m.
Walked across from us, and he was carrying a chainsaw.
Yeah.
We're like, where is he going? Like, did he just get done with the Freddy Krueger movie?
And he literally walked the line of the court and was.
He
just
didn't walk around.
He didn't say any. I don't even think he said good morning.
He just looked at us and kind of just gave us a weird wave. I was like, later, done. 'Cause I was scared, man.
That was early because those are those mornings where you wake up and the sun is so bright,
right in your eyes.
You know the birds, that certain bird sound, where if you're up early,
you hear that chirping, that chirp.
That bird.
Yeah, I remember that dude. I remember Skittles, the cat that always
the
came out of nowhere. That ugly cat just came out of nowhere called Skittles. Those kids would always chase it around the court. Oh,
what if Skittles? What if that cat was actually watching me? Like, what if put aside everything you believe in? What if Skittles is you? Like, what if you die, right? You die, and now you're Skittles, but you're watching your past, and you're watching you get my rebounds.
I would say, man, that guy's got some good form.
Who, yours or mine?
Mine, rebounding form, not yours.
Rebounding form. Yeah, I'd say you're probably.
We go work out. All I could do get the rebound. I didn't get to shoot anymore. So no wonder you got better than me. I didn't get to shoot.
And I think it's funny because you also because you didn't really know anything about working out. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I didn't really. I mean, when we were kids, it was just go to the park with your coach, high school coach, and go do the drill. But now you guys can look on your phones and look up different things. And so I remember you'd find all these different shooting drills. And I was like, what are we doing? And you go, okay, go to the elbow. And I'm like, what's an elbow? Like I had to be educated like that.
What's
like
an elbow?
Come off the screen. I know what those basic ones were, but you would go like some kind of crazy one, zigzag screen. I'm like, can you just show me before you do this? And then I know. And that's what I would do. I figured it out with you.
Those were the dog days.
Yeah, those were hot days. I remember 110 in the morning.
Because we never shot in a gym. Because I didn't get lifetime till like senior year of high school.
I know we're broke, bro. Sorry.
We're broke. We're not broke. You just were like, no, that's not what's it called? That's not in the budget.
That's not in the budget. That's right.
Your career is not in the budget. But like when we used to play at the park, us two, and then Brandon, and then if Brandon's friends came, like Nomar, Renee,
we'd run those courts. Remember that?
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
I think because I don't remember like ever. I mean, I remember losing, but I don't remember losing a lot.
No, it was like by one lucky shot they beat us or whatever else. And then even like Melinda's friends would show up. They want to play us. We'd skunk them out. They would come
is that a hot take?
I'm just saying. It was
if they
true.
listen to this, they're gonna be like,
I'm just saying it was true. I think they did beat us one time. at the new park by
Yeah.
our new house in Surprise.
But
But
we just got eye surgery when they beat us.
yeah, is that what it was?
Yeah, we had LASIK surgery. We were blind.
But I remember they would get mad. They'd call new guys, bring in new guy. Other guys would sit. And I
Yeah.
remember one of those kids kept calling me old man. I said, you know what? Enough
Oh,
of this
yeah, you
old
took
man.
it.
I took him to the hole, man.
You were
He's
like Jordan Wizards.
I was like, forget this, man. That's ridiculous. Don't be call old man. I was like, man, your shot's old, bro. Come on, dude. No,
oh, you said
come
your
on.
shots old or broke?
Old
Both?
and broke. What a broke old shot. There you go.
What was your favorite moment? Like the blacktop or I don't know. Yeah, blacktop. What was like your favorite? Because mine is just because I said on the Billy D podcast, I said my favorite ever, like not playing college basketball, not playing high school, not playing middle school. Like I don't have any memories of that, but my favorite memories is like playing with my family and like me, you, and Brandon. Like remember we just do a simple like nod and we'd backdoor,
Yeah.
like an inbound.
Cuts. Yeah, we just
Like
we always played so much together.
yeah,
I remember in the very beginning when you were getting into basketball, Brandon was into baseball a lot, and so we had to be fair and alternate. Okay, we're gonna do baseball today, and then tomorrow we'll do basketball. And then on the basketball day, Brandon's like, "Can we do more baseball today?" And you would get so mad. You're
yeah,
like, "No, I want to do basketball. It's not fair." So we started doing it, and then all of a sudden, Brandon's like, "Oh, I can be good at basketball." We did more basketball and less baseball. But then you started getting better and beating Brandon. He was getting mad.
yeah.
Then he would start to kick. He
He'd start
kicked
to
that
play.
basketball
Well,
across the
not even
thing.
kicking. But remember, he would guard him and put his knee out if you
Oh
like
man,
passed him.
yeah. He
He's
he, has, he
dirty.
had 6 fouls a game. He knew what he was doing.
He's yeah, blacktop 6 foul. He
Oh
got
man,
12.
that was a hard court to play on too. All the rocks everywhere. Oof.
I forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something. Oh, I forgot what it was.
Oh, but yeah, those were good days, and it was hot. I mean, and I remember even when we did all the volunteer stuff at the church, I'd come back in December,
Mm,
and I would text you guys, "Where you at? We're at the park," and I'd go get an hour of shots up with you guys, then go back to church for the evening part, all of December, and it was cold. I remember shooting, and I know it wasn't like snowing, but you
nah,
could
you
feel
gotta
that.
wear. Yeah, your hands would
You could
hurt.
feel that tip on that cold tip on your fingers. We'd go out there and still play. And then your mom's like, "Why are y'all sweaty? Why all dirty for?" And I was like, I'm not a child.
Yeah.
I can go. I don't have to ask permission." Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was,
Just kidding. I asked
my
permission.
mic was starting to turn away from my face.
Check one, check
You,
two.
you know what I remember us playing 1-on-1 when it was raining. Do you remember that day it was raining? And I started like I think that's when I turned into a man. Because I remember I kept because I just found out about Curry.
Mm.
Like remember I'd always do the layups. I'd do Tina's runner. I would do that like floater or
Yeah.
Steve Nash floater. And then once I found Steph Curry, it was just like my game was just all the way out there. So I remember I like finally was transitioning into like shooting, taking basketball serves. But we played in the rain because now thinking about it, like if there's rain, we're not playing or
'Cause
at
you get
all
hurt.
anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you tear your knees
But
up,
back
ankles
then
up,
it was like remember the concrete was those like sand.
little puddles.
Yeah.
And you whoop, slip.
Yeah.
Oh,
But we were playing in the rain and I was talking
stuff.
yeah, I was talking stuff.
Trash.
Yeah. And I remember saying like, "Oh, Zeus is talking." Like, remember I was saying that? I was like, I kept making shots, but it was like lightning. I think, yeah, that should.
Yeah,
be
I
a
remember
thing.
it was like cloudy everywhere, raining, and it was bad.
like lightning.
And I think your mom was texting, "Where are you guys at? Come
Yeah.
home."
And
we were out there
just,
playing.
but it wasn't enough to move the ball because we
No.
were just shooting through the rain.
But the trees were really bad moving. That little pocket was perfect
Yeah.
to play. It was nice. It was cool, like cool weather. It was nice.
Yeah.
And I remember a lot of times there was times where you and I would just get on this roll and we could not miss a three. So we were playing 21 where twos and ones,
Yeah, we're just
and whoever had the ball first would just make 11 in a row, and that was
Yeah.
game switch. And I make 11 in a row, and we're both like, "What's going on?" We didn't want to quit. We played like 20 games a day. It was fun days back then.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Verde Park is because I mean that's where I used to like just chill. I mean, I like sometimes I wouldn't even play basketball. I would literally just lay down, like on the. I would literally lay down on the free throw line because like at the house, you know, it got overwhelming at the
Were you
house.
watching White Men Can't Jump? in the very
No, I
beginning?
would just
He
look
lays
at the
down and-
stars. Like it's just weird to me.
Hmm.
Because I was like overwhelming at that house because you know everyone's yelling at me because I was always the one that was talking back. So I would literally just leave, take my basketball, put my bike down. I literally just like stare at the stars.
That was your way of
Yeah.
meditation.
I probably was doing meditation without thinking about it. But yeah,
I don't think everyone was yelling at you. I think you would bring that on to yourself because
I would talk about
you
it.
just didn't like to know when to stop. You wanted to get the last word in, even if it was like, yeah, you still got the last word of yeah in every time. I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
just
what
be
they call me?
quiet.
What would they call me? Mr. Two Cents. I
Mr.
was a
2 cents.
god.
I think you're Mr. 20 cents after a while.
Yeah.
It's like, geez.
um, during COVID when
Yeah.
I got yard time and you didn't.
Yeah, I got cry time. I was crying.
Yeah, so we both had COVID at the same time
Same time.
in
Yeah.
like January
Your mom put us in the same room.
in the same room, and I got yard time like I said, and you had to stay. But remember when I went to the park, and I haven't hooped in like, I think it was like 2 months or so that I haven't touched the basketball. And I remember shooting, and I could not hit a shot. I went to the Verde House from Luciana to the Verde House, and I could not hit a shot for my life. And I remember just kicking the ball straight up in the air like how Brandon used to do. And you know those long trees in front of the bricks?
Yeah.
It fell into the tree, and it was just stuck up there.
How'd you get it down?
I didn't. I went home without a ball. There's a ball probably up there still. I literally went home and I said,
I remember you said that you were playing and the hardest thing. You said the shot, but it was the breathing.
oh yeah, breathing
You
was
said your
hard.
chest was hurting, and I was like, yeah, right. And then when I finally got done with COVID, I said, I'm gonna go run for a mile just to kind of. I couldn't run. I was like, ugh. I couldn't get
Yeah.
it, man. I was dying out there. I was like, oh my gosh. But
It
we
was
had this.
bad.
We had that loft, and mom would give you that little court in the backyard to shoot around, and I was just up there like that, watching you play. I was so bad. Let me go down there and shoot. Your mom's like, no, you still have COVID. You tested positive, and I'm like, no one's out here. Like no
Yeah.
one's up here.
You know what prison is like now?
Yeah, I'm never going back. But she'd have me run back and forth well, get your energy out, run back and forth. And I was getting all tired up there too. Like, couldn't do it, man.
Real question, why'd you listen to her?
Because I'm a smart man. Two things. I'm a smart man and your wife's Hispanic. When you got a Latina wife, you listen.
Is there like a hidden third one?
We'll tell you later off the podcast. We'll tell you later on that one.
Here, just go like this. Just cover your face.
You know, some of your cousins, and I will not name who she is, Marissa, but she said, oh, she always wants to know whenever I snap, she wants to be there for that. She goes, oh, David's always so nice. I want to know when he snaps. So I've always said I wanted to play a joke, like go to Goodwill and buy a whole bunch of like cheap plates. And then in front of Marissa, freak her out, like start throwing plates down, like I snap. I wanted to scare her, but I said, nah, I better not do that. So
I don't ever think I've even seen you guys fight.
me and mom,
Yeah.
No,
you guys like
we don't fight.
you guys take it to the bedroom.
One talks,
Or not like that, but
one talks and one listens. Who do you think I am?
both.
I don't know. I talk up here and listen with this. I don't know. No way. No, I learned my lesson many, many years ago. Many years ago.
What happened? Can you say it or no?
Oh yeah, I just when
Hold on, did mom have a kid yet?
we were pregnant. We were pregnant
Oh,
with
so her
Brandon.
hormonal changes were.
No, she was just a beautiful woman, and that has nothing to do with it.
That's scripted. You just looked at your hand.
That's what it was. And so he said, so no, I mean, I just when you're first married, I thought I was, I knew it all. Make your decision, and you forget that. Not you forget you're married, but I'll make the decision myself, and you make the wrong decision, or you say something too fast while thinking about it, because don't do that.
Yeah, that's
She's quick.
scary.
She's quick. She's quick.
Me and my Mr. Two Cents. I don't know if I could do that.
No. Oh,
Yeah. So
yeah, your mom was quick, man. She got a cool cock.
what else? Cause like I don't want to I had questions, but I
Fire
don't.
them.
No, like I just like having this kind of
Okay,
conversation.
cool.
Cause like this makes people feel like they're in it.
Okay.
You
yeah.
know, instead of me asking like, what is your,
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Well,
I guess I'm not ready, but
it's because of what? It's midnight tonight already, or what time is it?
yeah.
No, I just, honestly, been married for 25 years, and I know a lot of that is because your mom's patient. People don't know. I know everyone always jokes like, "Oh, David, you've had it rough," whatever else, but your mom never puts it out there how bad David could be or David is. So in a way, she has trained me, I guess,
Yeah.
in a way to be better. But we've got a good relationship.
Yeah.
I make mistakes, she doesn't.
Just like that one.
Just like that.
That was one mistake.
So, But no, that's that's part of a marriage. Really, is what it comes down to. That's why I look back and go, wow, I could have been in a bit different place, probably in a dark place, and much happier.
I gotta
Because
see David Aaron in a.
no, I mean it's crazy. Yeah.
So what's? I guess that could be a question. What's a thing that you learn, an aspect of you learned in marriage
Hmm.
that like if someone's listening, like a random listener right now is listening, that they can take from like marriage because you've been married for 25 years, which
25
is
years.
a lot in this kind of
This day and
dating.
age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's a for someone who's about to end it right now?
Mm.
What's a aspect that
I say
you have to teach them?
in a good marriage, it's be patient. And it's not even be patient because of your spouse, it's be patient with yourself.
Mm.
Um, in this day and age, so many people want to blame each other. They want to put the blame on someone else. Oh, I'm this person because of how you made me. No, we make ourselves, make our own decisions. Now, yes, you got a partner that helps to mold you and create who you are. That's part of your who you are. But I believe that, you know, being patient, every day is going to be different.
Mm.
Um, People, I think, give up too soon. We all want that fast food mentality of if it's not right, I'm going to go complain and I want to change. And marriage a lot of marriages out there, I think, and of course, I'm not a marriage counselor, but they're not patient. Like, why not just take a breather, walk away, come back the next day and talk about it? Why are you going to explode on each other, say things you're going to regret, and then of course, no one likes to say I'm sorry. Um, I love saying I'm sorry. I always say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I always say I'm sorry.
Change the subject now.
So, but seriously, I think it's cool because I know in your mom's podcast, she talked about our wedding verse, "Every good and perfect gift," and when I
Can you say
was
it word for word?
every good and perfect gift
Oh,
comes from
that's
above, James 1:17,
yeah.
a
Mom didn't say that.
a.
Mom just said the
So
verse. At least
yeah,
she knew the verse.
yeah. So mom found that wedding verse for us before we got married, and I was like, well, what does that really mean? And I was thinking about it, this and that, and it really has been a perfect verse for our marriage, for our relationship, for our lives together, because I wouldn't be here without your mom. And I know my three kids definitely would not be here because it'd be a totally different relationship. But it's amazing that even like I always joke about that this 2023 year is the year of the GOAT Michael Jordan. Um, it's so many things that as parents, me and your mom, can be proud of that our kids have done, that you guys are all accomplishing huge momentum steps in this year. It's crazy. So going back to that marriage is, if there was times you fight with someone, you're not patient, you're going to explode. You're not going to be able to experience all those cool things. But knowing that you got to build those memories. Here's a fun fact for you too. When we got married, Fernando was our your Theo. He was my best man, and his best man speech was pretty much summed up in this. And he said, "It's not what you say today; it's how you act on what you said. It's that." So I always took that as like, "Oh my gosh, I get to build memories." And I was telling your mom the other day, I was like, "Oh my gosh, it is so neat that now that we're older and our kids are older, we get to do these big vacations, and we get to build these big memories now." And I can't. Back in the day, we'd go drive to Oregon and go see grandma, drive to Texas, go see grandpa, and those were great. But now we're flying to Hawaii. We're going on a cruise. Um, you've been to Kansas. Brandon went a couple years ago by himself to California. So you have all these experiences, and those are all little gifts, always memories that we get to create. And it's just neat so that then when we're back at the table, the five of us, we call ourselves the Fab Five. When we're back at the table, nothing can break that. And it really, I look at your mom and I'm like, man, she helped give me my Fab Five. Without her, I would not be here. I would not have who I am. I would have it. And she's patient. She's patient with me too, because I know I do a lot of joking, a lot of messing around, but she's patient with that. So yeah.
Yeah, that was a good epilogue.
Oh well, thank you.
Yeah, you should write a book on that.
Put some music in that. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely gonna be
Ta-da!
that's definitely gonna be a clip.
All right.
I was gonna say something. Oh, you were saying, not to do it today, but to do it tomorrow. Like the whole argument,
Mm-hmm.
and like the biggest thing, because in my relationship, the biggest thing that I've taken from you guys is to like reflect on like why did that happen in a way, because
Mm-hmm.
it kind of ties in with like everything I'm learning with the meditation, that kind of stuff, and then your guys' relationship, like who not to listen to
Yeah.
a marriage that's in front of your eyes. But the biggest thing is like, um, if Alyssa not snaps at me, but just you know, yeah, not but like one of those things that like says a word, or I don't know how to say it. Like
Yeah.
one of those kind of conversations, and if I have it, then I reflect and I'm like, what led to that?
Yeah.
And then we can talk about that reflection, because what just been said, like da 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 da, is not, it's not that part that hurts you. It's the part before that that led up. There's an event that led up to those. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
getting at?
Yeah. And if you want to think deep about it, if someone, let's say someone like that snaps at you, right?
Yeah.
And you call it reflect, so reflection, a reflection never comes straight. It always comes at an angle and it shoots out at an angle. Did you know that?
Oh,
Isn't that crazy? Think about
yeah.
that. So
Did you
when
just thought of that?
no, well,
No, you definitely
down the
did.
road, if I ever get to do another talk at church, then I was going to talk about reflection. How we're supposed to reflect
It's
God,
crazy.
and that's a reflection. Because if you think about it, he reflects from heaven, right, to us,
Yeah.
and then we reflect from here to other people as Christians. So, in our relationship or marriage, how I should reflect your mom. If someone, let's say she got mad at me, which she never does, never gets mad at
Yeah,
me.
she never does.
It's a reflection, but really it's not going to come back the same way. It should not do that. So I should shoot it somewhere else. So I think it comes back always to how can did I, and I always think about this. I never go, oh, you. I always think me. Like what can I do to make something better? How can I make this better? Um, and I know you guys, you kids always joke around, oh, dad's so nice. I am nice. Okay, I'll get that. But your mom, she's great. She's awesome. So I don't mind doing coffee. I don't mind doing dishes. It's part of it's our balance. It's
Yeah.
our relationship.
Your love language.
Yeah. If I can make her day better, it's better.
Yeah, I remember I was going to intern. I think it was like 7 a.m. And you're literally walking up the stairs. I wish you could make me coffee, but you're literally holding coffee and breakfast, and then putting it. Mom's not even awake yet, and you're putting it on the, like those little things is like, oh, I can't wait to have my
Yeah.
family, or because I can't do that now. I
Yeah.
can't, drive to her house, coffee, and then, I mean, you
I
would
also,
when you were younger.
I think it's too is if I can show you guys how to love, because I think the world is so big on love is physical and love, what am I going to get out of this? But
Mm,
really love is stopping and doing something to surprise someone, doing something to say, hey, I'm thinking about you. And it could be the smallest thing. It could be go buy a flower, go write a card. I mean, how many times there's people don't even write cards no more. Everyone just texts or emails and we're
yeah,
done. So a hand message, a surprise note, stuff like that. And I like doing that kind of stuff because I think it's important that I get to show your mom that I still love her. I'm in love with her. I adore her. I don't want to get stagnant. If you get stagnant, like water gets stagnant, it gets old and dirty.
mm,
I don't want to have a relationship that's old and dirty. I don't want to be here just because we signed a contract. I want to be exciting to be in a marriage. And so I'm always trying to find ways. And I always think too is like if I could find ways to do that, and you guys are seeing that, especially as men, um, how are you going to treat your wives? And then also for your sister Melinda, if she's been treating her mom like that, that's what she is going to what
reflect.
she's gonna want that reflection too, because she could go pick any guy she wants to, but then she might not be happy. So if she can find someone that reflects that love, it goes back to reflection. It's crazy how I was thinking about reflection like 2 weeks ago about that. And I was like, oh my
Told
gosh,
you.
reflection, it's crazy.
What's the book that I told you about, the coincidences? I need to finish
Coincidence.
it, but
Yeah,
synchronicities, I think it's what it's called. But like, I already told you this, but for the audience, if you're following synchronicities all the time for whatever religion you're in, which for us we're Christians, so it's God putting those paths, a certain path in your life, and that kind of like like a heads up, like
hmm
you're on the right path. Like what we were just talking about led to this
it's
conversation.
affirmation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
now it
it's
turned into
crazy.
fruitation.
Yeah.
So just something simple like that.
And it's funny too because your mom, when we were first together, first dating, first engaged, and then got married, your mom has always said, "You treat me like a queen, and I'll treat you like a king." Because many men always think like, "Oh well, my girl, my woman shoot like this." I don't want my wife to serve me. I'm not like that. I'm not. And I know actually there's a funny story for everybody out there. We were first dating, and we were sitting at the table, and I was sitting right next to your tata, And back then, I know,
Rogelio.
yeah, back then, he didn't like me too much. And I think even now, he doesn't like me too much. But we were sitting at the table, and I'm just a genuinely, I think I'm a genuinely nice guy. And I saw that he was done with his plate. And I said, "Hey, Roy, you done with your food?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Was it good?" "Yeah." And so I picked up his plate to take it to the sink. And he looked at your mom, Jeanette, goes, "Jeanette, no, no, no," like that. Because in the culture, men do not pick up other men's plates.
Yeah.
It was, and I didn't know that. I'm just being a nice guy. So I was like, "Oh,
You were being a
okay.
busboy.
Oh man, search me, put my hands against the wall." So had to like that. And Jeanette jumped up real fast and got the plates real fast and everything else. But he always remembered that story too. It was a funny day when back in the day. That was 27 years ago. 27 years ago it happened.
What did that didn't do anything, or he just like stared
I think he started putting bullets in his gun slowly. Like,
I thought he would do something else, like get his chancla.
no, he wasn't a chocolate guy. He was a big boot, army boot guy.
He like rips his wife beater.
He's like, raw.
Yeah, he's the wife beater. Sits at the end of the table.
Oh man,
If I had to meet Tata, I think that'd be the scariest.
really?
Yeah.
Mm.
I think Grandpa too, because Grandpa's a silent. Like when we invited Alyssa to come meet Grandpa, it could have went two ways. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how Grandpa was gonna react. Like, oh, okay, he has a girlfriend. he kind of reacted both, but Grandpa's like you're.
We're just happy you had a girlfriend.
yeah. I was touching on Brandon. Yeah.
No, if you think about it, and this is gonna sound very weird because people don't know, but your tata and your grandpa are kind of the same person. I know you don't see it like that, but they both have very dry humor.
Yeah.
And they're very, I mean, you have to get really past the layers with your tata, but he will joke.
Yeah.
Like he will joke. And people don't get that. And for me and him, I'm his son-in-law, but I know I'm his favorite son-in-law. If you think about it, I'm
You're
his
the
favorite.
only son-in-law.
I'm the only one. I'm still his favorite. And, but we joke a lot. We do joke a lot. And then it's funny because he's very quiet. He's very thought process when he jokes. And even when I proposed to your mom back in the day, he leaned forward. He goes, "You want to play a joke at everybody?" And I was like, "Heck yeah, let's play a joke at everybody." And that was a fun day. But then, like your grandpa, he's very fast witty. He's very jokey, kind of that dry humor as well. So they're both the same. It's funny.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it.
Say it.
I'm gonna say the S word.
Whoa.
Because Grandpa made me and Brandon pissed off.
That's the S word, is pissed?
No, I was gonna say he was talking his.
Oh, okay.
He's
About
talking-
what?
When we played ping pong.
Oh.
When we played ping pong. Because I was just like, okay, we'll take it easy. And Grandpa starts hitting like serving.
Yeah.
And we were barely waking up because Grandpa's an early guy,
Yeah, he's
early
early
bird.
bird.
So he got to our house at like 9.
Threw the coffee in his mouth.
And he's like, "Oh, you guys got a ping pong table?" And you know what that means? It means
Yeah. Get the stuff. Go stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, he gave us a whooping, or you both gave us a whooping.
Yeah. We
But
wanted to play 2-on-2.
yeah,
And
it was the
so
first. Yeah, so I was. Yeah, it was.
I remember he
that was
looked at me
bad.
and he said, he goes, "Hey, why are you being so mean to the boys? Like, why am I being so aggressive?" And I was like, "I'm going to put you on that side too. I'll play against all three of you guys
No.
because I'm competitive." He's like, "Where do you get your competitiveness from?" And I was like, "Do you remember
Yeah.
growing up?
I
Like,
never
this
seen
guy-
Grandpa like that.
Oh, he found an ice rink way back in the day, and we did not know how to skate. So he put a couple of us on the ice skate, and he's zooming around the rink like, he does one of those ice hockey, like the stopping.
Yeah, that's
throws
ice.
throws ice all on us. He's like, kind of knocks us down. And I'm like, I can barely stand up on these skates. He's just going around pushing us down, but he's competitive. We used to play, we didn't even have a hoop sometimes. We didn't have anything. We used to, he just wanted to play with us. And we would go find an orange and go play catch with the orange in our mitts. It'd be all sticky in our mitts. We do that. He'd get competitive and trash talk during Foursquare. I'm like, it's Foursquare.
Yeah.
He's
So
like,
that's where you got it from?
Yeah, he's competitive. I'm like, so
Yeah.
now I'm like, I'm not losing anybody. I don't care.
Because when I was younger, I used to only see it when we used to visit. I used to only see it through board games.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, why is he talking? and we're playing Monopoly. And he's like, pay up, be
Go
word.
to jail.
No. Yeah. So if he's listening.
But we used to play that remember we made that game up, the baseball game in the racquetball court? We had to catch it, run the.
That was the worst.
Yeah, and he was competitive. He wanted to win. And he was falling down, getting hurt, even ping pong.
Yeah.
He fell down. He's like, don't help me
Yeah,
out.
don't
help
we
me
were all
out.
like, Grandpa.
He's like,
And he's like,
don't help me out.
Yeah.
he wants to play, wants to win. So yeah, it's an Aird
What
trait.
what happened? He knocked my tooth out, right? Didn't he? And I still haven't found it
Yeah,
this day.
we were playing at the park, playing something when we were in a Modesto, and hey, Acacia Modesto,
Yeah.
and we were at Modesto, and we were playing at the park, and I remember you turned, and I think he went to grab you, and I think he had something in his hand, and it hit your mouth, and the tooth came flying out.
Yeah.
But then moments later, I remember we were hiding, and you threw a pine cone.
Oh yeah, it is
And you
head.
hit him right in the head. He's
Yeah.
like, "What is that?" And it was you throwing the pine cone.
Because we were playing grenade or something.
Yeah, you threw a
Bomb.
grenade or something on the.
And
on
I
the,
threw it straight at his head, and I
yeah.
made sure.
You got it back real quick.
Remember what happened during that? Well, first of all, I learned what certain genders and stuff was when I got to San Francisco.
Oh yeah, that was unique.
That was very new because I was a kid,
Yeah,
and it was when it was finally,
yeah.
So yeah, that was an experience in itself.
I remember going to the bathroom with you, and it was the gender neutral. Where you just
Yeah.
walk in, it was
Yeah.
all male, female.
Yeah, I had to
That's
help some dude. Remember? I
Yeah.
had to like hold it for him and while he's peeing.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was like, what? I wasn't.
That
was
wasn't
not
me.
me. But coming out of those stalls, then you share the sinks with male and female. And then you're like, did I go into the wrong
Yeah.
stall? Like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
Very awkward. But yeah, you were growing up. You would you'd point out those things out real quick. Like you wouldn't be quiet. Like, hey,
Yeah.
why is this? You just very loud. I'm like, shh, be
Yeah.
respectful.
I got to
So-
go back because what I was telling Alyssa is that the Suns, I don't think it's going to happen anymore, but the Suns and Warriors would have met each other in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? For my graduation, I should have just done a San Francisco trip and then watch a Warriors game.
Oh, that'd be nice.
And that would have been like,
Yeah. And then you have good food there.
yeah,
Oh man, it was.
San Francisco and then Chase Center, which is built. But before remember at Grandpa's house, remember what happened to the bed? I don't remember the dream. But remember Tata. Remember when Grandpa gave us inflatable beds?
Which part? Are you trying to embarrass
Yeah,
yourself?
Yeah, embarrass
Oh,
myself.
Yeah. So.
And I remember waking up and I was just in a puddle.
Yeah. I don't know what you ate, drank,
Yeah.
slept about,
I was probably thinking about the San Francisco.
but yeah, you woke up and you were in your own puddle of fluids, and we're like, what? Like, what happened? It was like a dinosaur had exploded
Yeah.
on that bed, man. It was just all fluid, all like,
Dinosaur
I'm like,
exploded.
man. I was like, welcome to Jurassic Park. It was like,
Was someone on the bed with me?
Not after that. No, everyone took off. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I think Brandon was on the floor. He didn't want to go on it. So you're on there, and you've had a
Good.
bad experience with those.
Inflatable bed.
Yeah, because during COVID, you broke Tina's.
Well,
and-
it turned into a ball.
Yeah, I don't know how that.
It turned
'cause
into a
it was
dome.
flat, and then all of a sudden, like your back was like that, and then
I was like riding a humpback.
you were like kind of like that, and it was just a big old bubble. We're like, Tina, we don't know what happened, but he didn't break it, but we don't know why the tubing is all over here. It was just the weirdest thing. I don't know what you do with them.
Yeah,
What do you do?
it
We should put a camera when you were sleeping. That was crazy.
was bad.
So let me ask you a question.
All right, ask me a question.
So you've had this podcast. What number of podcasts is this now? Is
This
like,
is gonna be
you're getting close to 20, right?
19.
19. Okay. So I was re-listening to your first one and then seeing how good you're doing your interviewing. Is there anything that you would have done different in your very first one, explaining why you wanted to do it? Were you happy with that foundation, or would you wish you would have gone some other direction in that very first one?
What you mean? Like, what do you mean?
When you explained your first podcast, when you went in your very first one about what Metamorphosis was, what you were going to talk about, before you started interviewing people, it was just you.
Yeah.
Looking back at that, are you happy with that foundation now that you've almost done 20 of these?
I like it. I think I'm gonna still, because the solo one is gonna be posted today. This one is gonna be posted on Monday.
I'm getting bumped for another week?
No, this is next Monday.
Oh, I thought it was my contract was signed
No,
for
and
tomorrow.
then
Dang.
last
Oh.
Thursday, this is my solo podcast.
I see.
But I changed it to interview because someone it was Alex on the team, and he was like, "You should do interview once." And I was like, "You know what? I have." It was before I got that stipend from the school, or whatever.
Oh.
And I was like, "You know what? I have extra money to get another mic." And I was like, "What better to leave the season with interviewing most of the team?"
Yeah, that's cool.
So then that's because what I told mom in the beginning, because remember I was trying to be famous on TikTok and all that. So I had a GoPro, and the GoPro, I was like, you know what? I should take my GoPro on every trip. But by the time the season came, I totally forgot about that idea. So during the podcast, I was like, now I'm going to have these videos forever. Like, interview, like you said, with McKay, interview with uh, Joe. Like I'm gonna have those forever now, and then on Spotify, so
Yeah.
that if I have kids,
They
they
can
get
hear
to
it.
see that build
Well,
up.
I was gonna say because your very first podcast to your most recent with your mom's, you've lived what you've wanted to live,
Hmm.
which was Metamorphosis. Because even the first one to now number 18, which is almost coming out, you have changed. It's a change. It's a change. So it's
Yeah.
like a removing. It's just cool to see back and then how you've manipulated it and turned it in because you've done the whole family, you've done your whole team, so everyone gets to meet who you are, how you interact with different people. That's what I was getting to. The
Hmm.
fact that the word metamorphosis, you've changed. And you've actually changed people by interviewing them too.
Yeah.
This is very cool.
It's kind of it's very cool because I'm seeing different conversations happen. Like they're not telling me good podcasts, but whoever the guest is,
Are we
they're
supposed to tell you that? Oh yeah. Sorry. Good podcast, Zach. Sorry, I
yeah.
forgot to say
So
that.
they're telling them like, oh, whoever interviewed is good because they just know me as their teammate or some random dude in a
Yeah.
hotel videotaping them. But like, I the one that I remember is the one with McKay, and that he said his old baseball coach. I don't think he talked to him since he was in club, and his old baseball coach was like, "Thank you for referencing
Oh, very
me,"
nice.
like something
So
simple
it
like
made an
that.
impact in his life.
Yeah. So me hearing that from McKay is special to me
Hmm.
because I
Back
heard,
to reflection.
yeah,
Reflection.
yeah. So
Wow.
then I get to see like he had a conversation with his old baseball coach or someone out there is listening
Yeah.
that I don't even know or have even heard of.
But even in Kansas, when we were at the different games, a lot of the dads would walk over and go, "Hey, I love your podcast. I can't wait for the next one." And I'm like, "Who are you?" Like it was these dads
Yeah,
that knew who you were,
yeah.
who the son's podcast. It was neat. And a couple dads were like, they were like, "Oh, I'm driving back right now. I'm going to listen to Zach's podcast." Like that was what that conversation, that talking, kept them
Hmm.
awake on their long drives in California. I was like, "That's cool
Yeah,
that you're impacting so many people." But that's that whole metamorphosis
yeah.
that you're doing. It's so cool.
Because at first, I like you said, I was starting it out because for myself, and now I'm gonna say it, but like now onto the 19th one, I'm like people are listening, people are hearing. So now it's kind of like I'm pushing other people's agendas.
Yeah,
Like now someone gets to hear about David, about you and your
you're giving
marriage.
someone a spotlight. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's exactly why I wanted to do that voicemail for someone who wants to be on the podcast that I even, let's just say a teacher of mine says, "Hey Zach, love the podcast," and I'm like, my teacher from third grade is listening. Like then I get to respond on my solo pod. That's the
Miss
reason.
Neal would bring you M&Ms so you wouldn't cry.
Yeah, that's another story. Is crying every morning, but just like that with like the metamorphosis and random people giving me like, oh, good podcast. Like
Yeah.
that's special to me because.
You know you're
But I've always
impacting
yeah
someone.
I've always been like the introvert. But if I'm close to you, I'll be an extrovert.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I'm the
what's funny.
biggest extrovert.
Your mom pointed that out because you and Brandon are like that. You both like that. You're introverts, but the minute you feel comfortable, you guys explode like a party balloon. Like you're all over the place. Do you ever notice when Brandon gets really tired?
Yeah, he's giggly.
Oh my gosh, he's
Yeah,
giggly. He jokes. He gets turns into this almost like this joking clown, and then you're more of that um,
one liner
one liner. I'm gonna go
punch.
to the extreme. Hey, can I moon you? It's like just the shocking stuff.
Yeah,
And then of course your sister, and it's kind of funny because it's
she
like
takes it from both of
I
us.
won't say it, but I'll say it. But it's like my being an extrovert has really kind of like exploded, vomited it on all three of my kids on how you
Yeah,
guys are.
more on Gorgie though.
Yeah,
She's a trip.
because I love like when if we ever have big events, I love having the microphone. I don't care who it is. Like if they give me the microphone, I'll go up there and hold the crowd's attention for hours. I love it.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see this, and you're doing this, and it's cool to going back and listening to Brandon's again or hearing Melinda's. It's just cool because of you've impacted so
Hmm.
many people like that. It's cool.
And
Yeah.
I remember just telling because Gorgie and Alyssa make fun of me of like my eras. Like I did skateboarding, haven't done that in a minute. The Oculus a
Oh
year
yeah,
ago.
the
I'm doing the
bike.
Oculus now. The bike,
Yeah,
but like I dibble on. So this is something that I want to keep consistency through like my job that I'm gonna have seriously, like strength and conditioning. But they made fun of me because like a podcast came out of nowhere. Like they didn't even guess that. And I don't know what made me want to do that, a podcast, but I was just like, you know what? I have a story to tell. Everybody has a story to tell, and why not combine that and have
yeah.
an interview or just a reflect? Because there's stuff that I know, like
Reflection.
yeah, fitness and health. I know fitness and health. I know I like I want to say stuff, but I'm not certified
Right.
to give
You give an
information out.
opinion, you don't have
Yeah.
you don't have to back it up, but
Yeah.
you know it's true, but yet
Yeah.
you're not certified.
But stuff like that, like I can't wait till I get certified to, talk about why your muscles are doing that. Like, just I love sports,
Yeah.
and that's one thing that I wish I didn't say is like I in the first episode I kept it on athletes, but now I'm transitioning into like people like my dad can be on the podcast, my mom, because you guys help. Basically, your metamorphosis story is helping mine, and that's what I'm trying to get to.
Can I say a pet peeve?
Yeah, what's your pet peeve?
It's not about this podcast. I just leave with that though. I was talking to a good friend of mine when I was at the Hebrew camp, and in the Salvation Army, um, is all about like whenever they award young adults and young kids, they always do it around music, or they do it around theory, or something musical. That's their big awards. But I was not. I was never musical.
Yeah,
I was
you're
always
a breakdancer.
even back then, man. I was always that. I was never outgoing until I hit like 14. I was always kind of behind the stage, and I saw a good buddy of mine, and his kids love baseball, and he came running up and he goes, "Oh my gosh, I saw your post that your son made it to the Final Four." And I was like, "Yeah, thanks, man." And it was neat that we were both grew up in the Salvation Army, and that we both love sports. We weren't recognized for sports,
Yeah.
but he knows the impact of sports. I know the impact of sports, but the Salvation Army just barely is starting to notice sports. They do a lot more of the music and that kind of thing. So I just thought it was cool that you say it's not sports, but you're hitting a different side of generation, which some people don't hit at all.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Yeah. Before I ask you a question, the Salvation Army needs to get more. If anyone's listening from the Salvation Army, sports need to be another option because you made that a point with Estrella Mountain a long time ago, and that brought people in because
We had like
sports.
80 kids playing kickball.
Sports is what unifies communities.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like, think about it. If I send a text out, you want to watch the NBA Finals, everyone's gonna come.
Yeah.
But no one's gonna want to watch a church service.
Yeah.
But you used to tie in sports and, like if you're gonna come play kickball, you have to come. But your teen, like that's what people are getting into is not. That's why I've always loved you as a preacher, like set aside from a father.
Preacher. Woo.
Yeah, is that you've always said stories. So I think me starting this podcast, people are only going to remember what you said because of stories, whether
It's
that
a
was
relation.
through mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see it. Yeah.
So that's why I love this podcast because
And I just got done saying it. I was
preaching.
I was at a weekend and I was trying to get and of course I'm getting close to 50 and they asked me to do a couple speaking things and they're 14 and I said, I love being stupid for Jesus. And they're like, what does that mean? I was like, I can be stupid. I can be dumb. I can be crazy. I can be fun because so many kids think that church and God and Jesus is just boring. But I'm like, no, I can be stupid. I can be obnoxious. I can have fun. I can throw a pie in your face. I can spit water down your mouth. I can do whatever I want. I'm gonna shock you, and you're gonna want to know like, why is that guy like that? And that's the fun to bring them back. So we used to always do that stuff. We used to do skits and the games and the sports at church, and we'd have these families coming in. It was kids coming in. It was like, it was fun. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was. It was fun. So last question before we kind of end it.
Are we already at time?
Yeah, it's already at 58.
What?
Yeah,
Dang.
that's fast, huh? That's why I wish I'm trying to find another part where I can keep going, but then also I got to find a new camera, which I don't have.
So what you're saying is, dear Dad,
Dear
can
Dad,
I get some money?
Daddy's money.
Yeah,
I'm turning
Daddy's
into a Brophy
money.
kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
Brophy.
Yeah.
Heck no.
Yeah. So, what's one question you wish I had asked you that we didn't get to talk about?
A question.
So you get to be as ego as you want.
Oh,
Mr.
I'm not
David
like
Aird.
that. Not like that in public. But let me tell you something. No, I'm just kidding.
Or what's something you could teach the audience? What's like mine is.
I
What's something you could talk about?
It's
forever?
funny. So when we were first together, first married, and all that stuff, we did struggle. We struggled. We struggled financially.
Me and you.
Me and your mom.
Oh, okay.
And it was amazing that one day we were just sitting in our room, and Mom said, "You have to go back and get your degree. You have to." And I was nervous because I haven't been to school in years, and I tried it when you guys were younger. And I wanted to be around my kids. I didn't want to go to night school. I didn't want to be away from my kids. I wanted to be with you guys. I love getting home from work, and then we go in the backyard and play or something like that. And I was like, no, I can't. And your mom's like, you got to go back now. And I think you guys were like in,
Middle school.
yeah, middle school. And I would take Melinda to dance like 4 nights a week. Then the other nights I'd do sports with you guys. But when I take her to dance, I could do all of my writings, my papers. And even though it was hard, looking back, it was like, it sounds so cliche, but it's like hard work does pay off. And, not, school's not for everybody. It's not. But the minute I got that degree and the minute that I look back, it was because your mom pushed me. But even before that, your Nana, she changed my job. She said, oh no, you're going to interview for something different.
Yeah.
And I remember that. And I was like, I don't want a different job. I like what I do. But that job was very basic pay. It wasn't going to get us anywhere. And I traveled a lot. And I was away from your mom. And she
Yeah.
was pregnant with Brandon. So looking back, it's like people did push me. Even though at that moment I'm like, oh, I don't want to change. I look at it now and go, wow, we're so much better off. And it's not that we've got everything we want, but we have the security. And I got a great job. My family supports what I do. And I love what I do. I love it. So
It's the biggest thing.
yeah, it's cool. It really is cool. And even now to see all three of my kids succeed in their education, you're almost done. Brandon's done number 2 with his master's, and then Melinda, she's a year away from her degree. It's just amazing that you guys all have those accomplishments.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing is doing what you love because I mean anyone can get burnout in anything. Burnout is
Yeah.
not only in sports, it could be in a podcast, it could be in a so I think finding like for me, if I didn't love strength and conditioning, I would not be waking up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
But I was telling McKay is actually interning too.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Cool.
So he's interning, but then like mine is he's doing it for like the credits and all
Right.
that. So I was literally telling he's like, dude, how do you get up at 5 a.m.? And I was like, I really don't know. But what I told him was
But he goes to bed at 7 at night. He's
so
not tired.
he got there at 9 and he's like, oh, you just got here, and I was like, I've been here 4 hours ago, and he's like, but I was just telling him that like I get to be around athletes, like like when you wake up, those first 10 seconds, the alarm goes off and it's 4:45 a.m. and I'm like, I'm not going.
Is it worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I get up, I start brushing my teeth. I'm like, I'm not sitting at a desk.
Yeah.
I'm not calling someone. I'm literally spotting people, telling them to get the weight up, like pushing people at 5 a.m.
You're reflecting to their life.
Yeah. So I think that's like the biggest. I get to have a conversation with my coach about his family, his daughters, his wife, like those things, it's the craziest thing where
It's so crazy.
like that's what I said in the beginning. I said, I want a job that's in fitness and I want a job that I don't have to sit down
and you get to help people.
yeah. And
They get to meet their goals through you, which is cool.
yeah. So
Yeah.
do what you love, audience.
Yeah. Do what you love.
So
Yeah.
I think that wraps it up. An
Very
hour
nice.
and 2 minutes.
Wow. Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, you said thank you. That's
the best
another.
for
That's
last.
another person. Say what best for the last.
Hey, best for last. They're gonna have somebody else next time. I know, but
Yeah.
I was asking you to be the last person only because
Out of the Airds.
I wanted to know what everyone else thought and said and how it was gonna go, and so
Yeah. You've been scripting everything.
yeah, writing it all down right here, so we're good to
Yeah.
go.
So audience, this was my dad,
David Aird, yep.
David Aird, David B. Aird. Thank you guys for listening. If you listened to the full episode, I hope you took everything that we talked about. Basically talked about my mom the whole time.
Yeah, how did that go?
Yeah, I don't know. So thank you guys for listening. If you guys want to follow my podcast, it's Instagram at Zachary's_Metamorphosis, where the E is a 3 and the 2 O's are 0. Zachary's_Metamorphosis. Same with the YouTube. My TikTok is Zaird4, I think, Zaird_. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for listening. Have a good day. Thank you for listening. And remember to always come back to
the breath.
The breath.